How's it, guys? Welcome back to SoccerBeat. It's myself, Michael Morton, current PSL footballer playing for Town Spurs, and my friend here, Tsepo Masilela, Kaizer Chiefs legend. Welcome back to SoccerBeat. Please make sure you have hit all bell notifications so you get notified every single time we put a video out. Make sure you like and subscribe. We have a really, really cool topic to discuss with you today. Something that's been the rage in social media all over South Africa since the injury of Themba Zwane. And the question I want to ask you, Tips, today is who's going to replace Themba Zwane? And the one name on everyone's lips at the moment is Gaston Sirino. He's obviously in good form at Kaizer Chiefs. Is that somebody we should be considering for our national team? He's 33 years old. Is he the person to fill in for Zwane now until he gets back from what is potentially a very long-term injury?
Oh, that's a tough one, Mike. Looking at his form in a couple of games he's played, he's done well, but again he's done well, and he's playing in a position where he's coming from the wide areas, coming to the half spaces. So he hasn't played like a number 10 role, and I haven't seen him play that role in a while. To replace one, but in my opinion again, right? If you look at his age, man, he's 33 years old, and yeah, I think it's time to give. We've got a couple of exciting youngsters that are coming up nicely. You have the Pirates boy Mofokeng, you have now the Kaizer Chiefs Shabalala doing well. I think, in my opinion, I would give it to one of those, and we still have a Tito, that's been in the Bafana team, and he hasn't gotten a fair chance, to say okay, or to judge him and say no, he can't fill that role. He's been waiting for his turn, and hopefully soon we can see him in that position. But in my opinion, now I wouldn't go for Sirino, and we're not a country that's known for going for players that are born outside South Africa with the Sirino situation type of player. We're not big on that, and maybe it would open a can of worms now. Like going forward, everyone would be looking at if I can spend a couple of years.
I get your point, and definitely, I think we discussed off stream the fact that AFCON only takes place in December next year, and by that stage, I think Gaston Sirino will be 34, turning 35 a couple months after the tournament. So it does mean that he's aging a little bit. But then my pushback on that just is our national team, the way I view it, it should never be a development team. I think your national team should always be your best players all the time, always. Like, I don't like where you say to us, like, let's play this guy because he might be the person that's going to fill that role in 6 months or in 2 years' time. I believe personally that the best players should always play in your national team no matter what. That's what your national team should represent. It should always be your best team. So for me right now in South Africa, I would say like our best alternative to Zwane is Sirino, just in terms of form right now, and someone that gives you something very similar to Zwane. Zwane is also not a typical number 10 that sits in that number 10 pocket. He also plays off the wings and comes off the same way that Sirino does. Of course, age is a factor, but then it just is Tito ready? If you're going to say it's Tito, if it's Mofokeng, do we have a direct replacement for Zwane? Is my argument.
Yeah, you made a good point there when you were saying the national team, you need your best players. It's not about age and stuff. But again, Mikey, if the guy hasn't even, they've never called up Sirino, so surely the coach knows that in case one gets injured, he's got an eye on that one player. Coaches, it's more their job to know. And besides the age thing, there's a time and place where you slowly, try and integrate the team with the young upcoming, looking at okay, if something happens. So I still stand firm on my ground, saying that we should go with a local player like South African born,
Okay, give me a
Yeah,
name. Give me a name. Who's the guy you're gonna pick in your Bafana Bafana team to replace Swane? Give me one name.
I know. Mofokeng plays on the left wing or right wing, but mostly on the left wing. But I would give him that role. Give him a chance in that role and see how he features. I think he's got the brains to play in that role.
Not Shabalala.
Shabalala, Shabalala must still, get that call up first before. So now we're talking about someone who's already there in the team. Who's
Sure.
the coach has worked with him like a couple of games now, and he's gotten like some minutes, and he knows the environment. The coach knows him by now. He's had him in training. With Shabalala, he's the potential is there, but I still feel like he hasn't, reached that point where he's in the discussion for Bafana number 10 role. Let him first get his first call up and go with the team, travel with the team, get
Yeah.
used to the setup of Bafana.
I've got one more name for you. I'm gonna throw into the hat, but I'm gonna give it to you after the break. Give us 2 seconds. Get Betway do their thing.
You see, it was this game that turned boys into giants. Even today's aces inherited the name from those who came before. Usabutha lo mulilo, buza kwabaziyo, bazokutshela, lisegazini forever.
Betway is giving customers a chance to win big with their 4 to score free weekly prediction. Simply predict the first teams to score in 4 Betway Premiership matches, and you could win 50,000 Rand. Scan the QR code on screen now to enter. Get way more with Betway. Standard T's and C's apply.
And we are back, guys. Thanks for sticking with us at SoccerBeat. Make sure you are liking all our videos. Make sure you're subscribing, sharing it with all your mates. We are trying to grow the strongest community in South African football. Tips, there's one name that you haven't mentioned, and he hasn't even got a call up yet, but someone who's in great form for Mamelodi Sundowns is Tashreeq Matthews. That's someone that I think could offer a lot of value in the number 10 role. I really like what he does and what he offers. Quite in a similar mold to Zwane as well, with the way that he plays in those pockets. What do you make of Matthews?
Oh yes, Memphis has started the season very well. Also, I think maybe if he continues with this great form, surely his name will be amongst the Bafana team in the next coming games. But yeah, man, I'm also impressed with what he's doing at Sundowns, but also you must be careful with players. There's players that are good in a system or in a team, and they struggle when they go to Bafana. So, but yeah, he's still young. Also, he's still got age in his side, and definitely I see him getting a call up, but that's if he continues doing well for his club, because you must first do well at your team and to get the call up. But yeah, I mean, it's tough for me to say yes, Matthews. Now I'm impressed with him, but
Yeah.
there's guys, and again, in such situations, you find that the coach might also change the shape of the team going forward. He can go for a 4-3-3. It gives a coach opportunity to also try maybe different formation system. So it's going to be interesting to see how the coach without Zwane. I heard it's an Achilles injury, so probably he had a hope already. So probably we're looking at 4 to 6 months. So yeah, man, we're
Yeah.
gonna miss our Mshishi. We're gonna miss our Mshishi.
Yeah. And now, I mean, he's getting on in age as well. I mean, do you still think he has a future at Bafana after he recovers from the injury? It's not easy. Obviously, we know as we got older, injuries take a little bit longer. Hugo Broos going to keep that space for him, or do you think there's a good chance that could be the end of his Bafana career?
With age, yeah, but he looks like a fit player. I think it's the first time I heard Mshishi is out for this long. But again, it depends on how bad was the injury and the recovery, doing your rehab but I think once it's fully fit, man, Mshishi knows football. If you have Mikey. Once it's fully
100%.
fit, also he needs to come back from the injury and start playing games, and that's only when the coach can make that call. Which going forward, do I still, or the injury, affected him? But I believe he will still play for Bafana.
Yeah. And now all the Pirates fans will want to know, obviously Tito's in that squad, that Bafana squad already. He's been knocking on the door, but it doesn't sound like you two convinced that he's the natural replacement for Zwane. I mean, even after tonight's game against SuperSport now, you sort of said to me off stream as well that maybe he's not a natural 10 that wants to play in the pockets. What are your thoughts on what Tito and why he can't walk into that spot to fulfill Zwane's position?
Yeah, with Tito, man, I understand as I said before, sometimes the system and the way the team plays, it might be working for Pirates and Tito, but looking at the Bafana and how they set up, they want someone that's patient between the lines, and Tito tends to drift or drop more deeper in positions where he's not really affecting the game, he's not really hurting the opponent. But on his day he's a marvel to watch. Make no mistake, he's got the quality on his day, and yeah, he's been at the Bafana team also. He's been waiting. Maybe the coach will go with him and give him a fair chance, because as I said, he hasn't played lots of games for Bafana, but he's been in the squad. So maybe it's about time he gets his fair chance, and then we can make a judgment after we see him maybe play 2 or 3 games. Because also the coaching is different and the style of play compared to Pirates, and Bafana.
Yep. Guys, we would love to hear what you have to say. What do you think about who the natural replacement would be for Themba Zwane? Are you going with a youngster like Shabalala? Are you going with Tito, who's been waiting for his opportunity at Bafana Bafana? Or are you going with the experienced campaigner, Gaston Sirino, the Uruguayan? Do we convert him to South African citizenship? And do we put him into our national team? Please let us know. I think I know the way the Pirates fans will be leaning and the way the Kaizer Chiefs fans will be leaning. Tips, thank you very much for your time. Sign us out.
Thank you, Mike. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Thank you.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.